My friends, I want to remind you of a simple but profound truth. You don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. Every thought you think sends a signal into the universe, shaping the experiences that return to you. When you change your thoughts, you change your vibration, and when you change your vibration, your entire life begins to realign with that new energy. Your outer world is nothing more than a reflection of your inner world. So, if you truly wish to transform your life, it doesn't begin with effort or struggle or even luck. It begins within your own mind. So many people move through their days unaware of the immense power that flows through their own minds. They wake up each morning, repeat the same routines, think the same thoughts, and wonder why their lives continue to look the same. They might blame circumstances, luck, or other people, yet the truth is far simpler and far more empowering. Life does not happen to you, it responds to you. Everything you experience begins as a thought. Your thoughts are not just fleeting whispers in your head, they are creative forces sending out frequencies that shape your world. The problem is that most people are unaware of the kind of energy they are broadcasting every moment of every day. They think thoughts of worry, doubt, and limitation, and then are surprised when those very experiences appear in their lives. Awareness, then, is the beginning of freedom. The first step to transforming your life is not to change the outer world, but to become conscious of what is happening within. It's about catching yourself in the act of thinking, really seeing what kind of mental movie you are playing in your mind. You might sit quietly for a few minutes each day and simply observe your thoughts without judgment. Watch how your mind jumps from one subject to another, how it clings to certain worries or resentments, how it replays conversations or projects fears into the future. Don't condemn it, just observe. You will notice that you are not your thoughts, you are the one watching them. That awareness alone creates a gap, and in that gap lies your power to choose. Dr. Wayne Dyer often reminded us that we are not human beings having a spiritual experience. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. And the greatest realization of a spiritual being is that we are the creators of our reality through our consciousness. When you begin to witness your thoughts, you step into that awareness, the awareness of your higher self, your true essence that is untouched by fear, doubt, or limitation. For most people, the mind has been running wild for decades. Untrained, undirected, constantly reacting to the world instead of creating it. Awareness is like gently taking the reins of a powerful horse. You don't fight it, you guide it. You start noticing, there's that old thought again, the one that says I'm not good enough, or there's that voice that tells me things never work out. When you see it clearly, it loses its grip. You no longer mistake it for truth. Imagine your mind as a garden. Every thought is a seed. Some seeds grow into beautiful flowers. Thoughts of love, joy, gratitude. Others become weeds, thoughts of anger, fear, or self-pity. For years, most people have allowed their gardens to grow wild. Awareness is the moment you pick up the gardening tools, you begin to see which seeds you've been watering, and you make a conscious decision to plant something new. Let's say you catch yourself thinking, I'll never get ahead, or I'm not lucky like others. Instead of fighting that thought or pretending it's not there, you simply notice it and ask, is this thought serving me? Does it align with the life I want to live? That single question shifts you from unconscious reaction to conscious creation. Awareness also means realizing that not every thought that appears in your mind belongs to you. The world is full of collective energy, family beliefs, cultural conditioning, and societal fears that we've absorbed over time. Money is hard to make. People can't be trusted. Life is unfair. These are borrowed thoughts, old patterns passed down for generations. When you become aware of them, you can choose to release them. You can say, that may have been true for others, but it doesn't have to be true for me. In that moment, you reclaim your power. Dr. Dyer used to say, change the way you look at things and the things you look at change. This isn't just poetic, it's a spiritual law. Awareness changes your perception, and perception changes reality. When you are aware, you stop reacting to life as if you were powerless. You realize you have a choice in every situation, not necessarily to control what happens, but to control how you interpret it and how you respond. You may not be able to stop a storm from coming, but you can choose whether you see it as a disaster or a cleansing rain that nourishes the earth. That choice is made through awareness. Think of how many people spend their lives in resistance, angry about traffic, frustrated by delays, irritated by other people. Each time they react unconsciously, they strengthen those patterns. Yet, when you become aware, you notice that irritation rising and say, "Ah, there's that old energy again." You take a breath and release it. Awareness gives you the ability to pause, and in that pause, peace enters. This practice transforms not only your mind, but your entire energy field. The more aware you become, the more you begin to notice the subtle connection between your thoughts and your experiences. You'll see how a day that starts with gratitude flows more smoothly than one that begins with complaint. You'll recognize that when you focus on problems, you attract more of them, and when you focus on solutions, solutions appear. Awareness turns life into a dialogue with the universe. Instead of feeling like a victim of circumstances, you realize you are in partnership with a divine intelligence that is always responding to your inner state. The more aware you are of your thoughts, the more aligned you become with that intelligence. When you catch yourself thinking negatively, don't resist it or judge it. Simply bring it into the light of awareness. Say quietly, "I see you." That alone begins to dissolve the energy behind it. Darkness cannot survive where there is light, and awareness is that light. You will begin to notice subtle shifts. You feel calmer, lighter, more centered. You respond to challenges with grace instead of tension. You find yourself attracting kinder people, more synchronicities, and opportunities that seem to appear effortlessly. None of this is coincidence. It's the natural result of an awakened mind. Dr. Dyer often said, "The state of your life is nothing more than a reflection of the state of your mind." Awareness allows you to see that reflection clearly and decide whether you want to continue creating from that space. If you don't like what you see, don't fight the mirror, change the image you're projecting. When you become aware of your thoughts, you also begin to understand the vastness of who you truly are. You are not limited to the stories you've been told or the roles you've played. You are consciousness itself, eternal, expansive, divine, and every thought is a brushstroke painting the canvas of your life. So my invitation to you is simple. Throughout your day, pause and ask yourself, what am I thinking right now? What am I creating with this thought? Then gently guide your mind toward a higher vibration, toward gratitude, peace, love, or possibility. Over time, this practice becomes natural. You begin to live in awareness, to think deliberately, to feel deeply connected to the creative power within you. And as that awareness grows, your life transforms, not through struggle or force, but through the quiet, consistent act of choosing your thoughts with love. Because when you are aware, you are awake. And when you are awake, you become the conscious creator of your destiny. Fear is the great divider of human potential. It stands as a silent wall between who you are and who you are meant to be. Every one of us has felt its whisper, that quiet voice that says, "What if I fail? What if I'm not enough? What if things don't work out?" It can be so subtle that you don't even notice it running your life. You may call it being realistic or playing it safe, but beneath those phrases often hides fear, fear of rejection, fear of uncertainty, fear of stepping into your own power. The truth, my friend, is that fear is not a fact. It's a thought, a mental projection into a future that hasn't even arrived. And because it's a thought, it can be changed. Just as darkness disappears the moment light enters a room, fear dissolves in the presence of faith. The two cannot exist in the same space. When faith is strong, fear loses its grip. When fear dominates, faith retreats into the background. Faith is not a religious word, it is a spiritual frequency. It is the deep, unshakable knowing that there is an intelligence guiding this universe, an energy that breathes life into you, orchestrates galaxies, and aligns every detail for your highest good. Faith says, even if I cannot see how this will work out, I trust that it will. Faith is surrender, not weakness. It is the ultimate strength because it aligns you with the creative force of life itself. So many people are living small because they've allowed fear to convince them that the unknown is dangerous. But what if the unknown is where your miracles live? What if every time you chose faith over fear, you were stepping into the flow of the divine? Dr. Dyer used to remind us, when you trust in the wisdom of the universe, you align yourself with a force that has created worlds, and that force has never failed, not once, not ever. Fear thrives on doubt. It says you can't, you're not ready, you don't have what it takes. It disguises itself as logic, but it's really resistance to your own expansion. Faith, on the other hand, whispers, you can. You are guided. You are capable of more than you can imagine. The difference between the two is simply what you choose to believe. If you observe your thoughts when fear arises, you'll notice they're almost always about the future, a future that hasn't happened. Fear lives in the imagination. It's a misuse of the same mental faculty that can create your dreams. Imagine that the very tool that can manifest miracles is often used to create anxiety. When you understand that, you realize how powerful your mind truly is. The shift begins the moment you decide to stop feeding fear and start feeding faith. How do you do that? By redirecting your focus. When a fearful thought appears, you can pause and remind yourself, this is just a thought, I can choose another. Then replace it with one rooted in trust. Instead of saying, I don't know how this will work, you say, I know I'm being guided. Instead of I'm not ready, you say, I am exactly where I need to be. Faith doesn't mean pretending challenges don't exist. It means believing that every challenge carries the seed of growth. It's understanding that life's delays are not denials, they are divine timing in motion. Fear says this is the end. Faith says this is just the beginning. Fear looks at what is, faith sees what can be. I want you to think of a time in your life when something didn't go according to plan, yet later you saw it was for the best. Perhaps you missed a job opportunity only to find something far better. Perhaps a relationship ended and opened space for healing or love that was more aligned. In those moments you can look back and see that a higher intelligence was guiding you. Faith is living with that awareness in the present moment even when you can't see the full picture. Dr. Dyer often told the story of how many of his own transformations came when he simply trusted life, when he stopped pushing against circumstances and began to flow with them. When you trust, he said, you begin to see miracles not as extraordinary events but as natural expressions of an aligned mind. Faith turns the ordinary into the miraculous because it changes your energy. You might not realize it, but faith is creative energy. It's like planting seeds in fertile soil. Every thought of trust, gratitude, and surrender sends a signal to the universe that says, I am ready, I believe. I know good is on its way. The universe responds in kind because it is always mirroring your inner state. Fear closes doors, faith opens them. Fear contracts your energy, faith expands it. Let me offer you an image. Picture yourself standing on the edge of a vast ocean. Fear tells you the water is too deep, too unpredictable. Faith invites you to step in, assuring you that you will float, that you will be carried by the current. The ocean represents life itself. Sometimes calm, sometimes stormy, but always supporting you if you trust it. The question is, are you willing to let go of the shore? One of the most powerful affirmations you can practice is this: I trust in the wisdom of life. I am safe. I am guided. I am supported. Say it until you feel it, because when you do, the world begins to respond differently. You'll find yourself meeting people at the right time, encountering opportunities you didn't plan, feeling nudged toward actions that unfold perfectly. That's not coincidence, that's faith at work. Faith is also about remembering who you truly are. You are not this limited personality trying to survive. You are an extension of the same creative energy that governs the stars. When you realize that, fear loses its foundation. How could you ever be alone or unsafe when you are one with the source of all creation? When you catch yourself in fear, pause and breathe. Ask yourself, what would faith say right now? Then act from that space. Maybe faith tells you to take that step you've been avoiding, to make that call, to start that project, to speak your truth. Fear waits for perfect conditions. Faith acts from the knowing that perfection is created in the moment you move forward. Over time, you'll begin to notice something miraculous. The situations that once terrified you will no longer have power over you. The things you used to chase will start to come effortlessly. Life will seem to meet you halfway because you are no longer pushing against it, you are aligned with it. This is the essence of Dr. Dyer's message that when you live from faith rather than fear, you move from force to flow. You stop striving and start allowing. You realize that everything you need has already been placed along your path. You simply have to trust enough to walk it. The universe loves a trusting heart. It responds to belief with beauty, to courage with clarity, to faith with fulfillment. It's not about ignoring challenges or pretending pain doesn't exist. It's about meeting everything with the knowing that you are never separate from the power that created you. So, the next time fear visits, welcome it with awareness. Thank it for showing you where you are, still doubting your connection to Source. Then release it. Replace it with faith. Whisper to yourself, I am guided. I am capable. I am exactly where I set meant to be. And as you practice this, moment by moment, thought by thought, you'll begin to feel a profound shift. The world won't seem as heavy, the path won't feel as uncertain. You'll notice signs, synchronicities, moments of grace that remind you that you're being carried. Because you are. Faith is not something you earn or learn, it's something you remember. It's remembering that you are a divine being, loved and supported by an infinite intelligence that knows your every need before you even ask. When you trust that, truly trust it, fear becomes irrelevant. Love and gratitude are not just pleasant emotions, they are the highest frequencies in the universe. They are the language of the divine, the energetic vibration that aligns you with everything you have ever desired. When you live in these states, you stop chasing life, life begins to flow toward you. Love and gratitude dissolve resistance. They are the invisible bridges between where you are and where you want to be. You see, every thought you think has an energy, a vibration. Fear, anger, resentment, they are dense, heavy, constricting. They close you off from the flow of abundance and peace. Love and gratitude, on the other hand, are expansive. They open your heart, raise your energy, and connect you directly with the creative intelligence that governs all things. When you think loving thoughts, you are in harmony with Source, and in that harmony, miracles are natural. Dr. Wayne Dyer often said, you'll see it when you believe it, and belief is always rooted in love. Love says, I trust life, I trust that I am safe, I trust that I am enough. Gratitude says, even before the blessings arrive, I give thanks. Together, love and gratitude create a magnetic field that draws to you people, opportunities, and experiences that match that energy. Most people live their lives focused on what's missing. They say things like, I'll be happy when I get that promotion, or I'll be grateful when I find the right person. But that's backward. The universe doesn't respond to your needs, it responds to your vibration. If you are vibrating at lack, you attract more lack. If you are vibrating at love and appreciation, you attract more of what you appreciate. Gratitude is not a reaction to abundance, it's the cause of it. Begin each morning by tuning your mind to love and gratitude. Before you even get out of bed, take a few moments to silently say, thank you. Thank you for this breath, this day, this opportunity to begin again. Feel the energy of appreciation move through your body. Let it fill your heart before your mind even begins to plan or worry. That simple act changes the way your entire day unfolds. You are no longer waiting for something outside of you to make you feel good. You are generating that energy from within. When you walk through your day, bring awareness to the small moments, the sound of laughter, the warmth of sunlight, the kindness of a stranger. Gratitude is not reserved for big achievements, it's a way of perceiving life. It's saying even this, even the small ordinary things are gifts. And when you start living that way, you begin to see how life has always been giving to you, moment after moment, breath after breath. Love works the same way. It's not limited to romance or family. It's the energy of seeing the divine in all things, in yourself, in others, even in the challenges that come your way. Love is not about attachment, it's about alignment. It's remembering that you are love itself, not something separate from it. When you look at another person and see only their faults or shortcomings, you are seeing through the eyes of fear. When you look and see the spark of divinity within them, you are seeing through the eyes of love. Dr. Dyer used to remind his listeners that there is no path to love. Love is the path. When you choose love, you are choosing truth. You are saying, I refuse to participate in hate, in judgment, in blame. You are returning to your natural state, which is peace. Let's talk about how love and gratitude transform your thoughts. Every time you think, I don't have enough, that's an invitation to say, I am grateful for all that I do have. Every time you think they hurt me, it's an opportunity to say, I choose to send them love and release them. Love and gratitude shift your perspective from victimhood to empowerment. They remind you that you always have a choice, the choice to see the good, to bless the situation, to rise above the illusion of separation. When you send love, even silently, you alter the energy around you. Have you ever walked into a room where two people were angry and felt the heaviness in the air? Energy is real. Now imagine walking into that same space radiating calm and compassion. Your energy uplifts the room. This is not imagination, this is vibration. The energy of love is healing not only for you but for everyone it touches. There's a beautiful spiritual paradox here. The more grateful you are, the more you receive. But when you are truly grateful, you don't even need more. You already feel complete. And that state of completeness, of non-neediness, is exactly what draws abundance to you. Life rushes to meet you when you stop chasing it. Try this simple practice throughout your day. Silently repeat the words thank you. No matter what's happening, no matter how ordinary or even difficult the moment seems, say thank you. If you're waiting in traffic, thank the universe for giving you time to slow down. If someone challenges you, thank them for showing you where you still need to grow. This constant inner conversation of gratitude reshapes your mind and reprograms your vibration. You start to see blessings where others see burdens. Another practice is to end each day by writing down 3 things you're grateful for. Not just the obvious ones, but the subtle gifts. The smile of a stranger, a good meal, the sound of rain. When you make gratitude a habit, your subconscious begins to expect good things. And what you expect, you attract. Dr. Dyer often said, you cannot be grateful and unhappy at the same time. Gratitude and unhappiness cannot coexist because they are opposite frequencies. When you feel grateful, you automatically rise above worry and resentment. Gratitude dissolves the ego's illusion that you are separate from your source. It reconnects you with the truth that everything you need is already within and around you. Love, too, expands the moment you give it away. You don't run out of love by sharing it. You multiply it when you withhold love through judgment, bitterness, or pride. You close your heart to life itself. But when you open your heart, even to those who may not seem deserving, you free yourself. The energy of love does not ask for anything in return. It simply radiates because that is its nature. If you want to transform your life, begin by transforming your inner atmosphere. Let your thoughts become loving. Let your words be kind. Let your heart be grateful. When you wake up, give thanks. When you eat, give thanks. When you encounter another soul, silently send them love. Over time, you'll notice that you are no longer reacting to the world. You are consciously creating your world. And something extraordinary will happen. The things you once chased will start finding you. The relationships that drained you will fall away, replaced by connections that nourish you. The struggles that once felt heavy will dissolve, not because the world changed, but because you did. Love and gratitude transform perception, and perception creates reality. You begin to understand that every moment, every person, every experience is your teacher. You realize that love isn't something you wait for, it's something you choose to be. Gratitude isn't something you express once in a while, it becomes the lens through which you see life. In that space, there is no struggle, no resistance. There is only flow. You live from the heart, not the head. You stop analyzing and start appreciating. You begin to walk with quiet confidence, knowing that the universe is always conspiring in your favor. Love and gratitude don't just change your thoughts, they change your destiny. They lift you to a higher frequency where problems become possibilities and where lack becomes abundance. So let your life be a continuous expression of these 2 energies. Love in your words, love in your actions, love in your silence, and be grateful endlessly, effortlessly, genuinely. Because when you live from love and gratitude, you are living from God. And in that state, transformation is not something you seek, it's who you are. Everything in this universe is created twice, first in thought and then in form. Before a house is built, it exists in the mind of the architect. Before a painting appears on a canvas, it lives in the imagination of the artist. Your life works the same way. What you hold in your mind, what you picture and feel as real, eventually becomes your reality. Visualization is not wishful thinking, it is conscious creation. It is aligning your inner world with the energy of what you desire so that it must appear in the outer world. Dr. Wayne Dyer often reminded us, you see it when you believe it. This is more than a clever phrase, it's a spiritual law. The universe does not respond to your wishes or your words, it responds to the frequency you emit. When you visualize something clearly and feel it deeply, you are sending a powerful signal to the infinite intelligence that governs everything. You are saying, this is my reality. And because energy always seeks harmony, the universe begins arranging itself to match that vibration. The key, however, is not just to think about what you want, but to feel it as if it were already yours. Thought is the blueprint, but emotion is the magnet. The feeling is what activates the energy. When you imagine yourself living your dream, not as a distant possibility, but as a present truth, your subconscious mind begins to accept it as reality. Once that happens, everything around you begins to shift in subtle ways to support that vision. Sit quietly for a few moments each day. Close your eyes and bring into your mind an image of the life you desire, not in the future, but now. See yourself living in that reality. Feel the peace of it, the joy of it, the ease of it. If it's health you desire, feel your body glowing with vitality. If it's abundance, imagine yourself surrounded by opportunities, feeling free, feeling secure. If it's love, see yourself radiating warmth and connection, giving and receiving freely. The more real you can make it in your imagination, the faster it becomes real in your life. Dr. Dyer used to say, the law of attraction is really the law of matching vibrations. You don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. Visualization helps you become the energy of what you seek. When you live from that frequency, you no longer chase, you attract, you no longer hope. You know. One of the greatest mistakes people make is thinking, I'll believe it when I see it. But in truth, the process works the other way around. You must see it within before you will ever see it without. You must cultivate the inner vision, the inner emotion, before it manifests in the external world. This is why faith and imagination are so deeply connected. Both require you to trust in the unseen. Think of your imagination as a bridge between the spiritual and the physical realms. It's the channel through which divine ideas become material experiences. Every invention, every discovery, every transformation that has ever occurred began as a thought in someone's mind. The same creative power that moves through them moves through you. When you visualize, you are using that same universal intelligence. But visualization is not about controlling the how. The how belongs to the universe. Your role is to decide what you wish to experience and to align your feelings with it. You are the artist, not the engineer. You paint the vision and trust that the divine will orchestrate the details. Dr. Dyer often spoke of the power of surrender, not giving up but giving over. When you visualize with love and faith, you release the need to force outcomes. You move from struggle to flow, from worry to knowing. As you practice visualization, remember this: the universe doesn't respond to desperation, it responds to certainty. When you visualize with a sense of lack, hoping, needing, grasping, you reinforce the vibration of not having. But when you visualize with gratitude, as if it's already done, you emit the frequency of fulfillment. The universe always matches that energy. You might be wondering, how do I feel something that hasn't happened yet? The answer is simple: through imagination. Your mind does not know the difference between something vividly imagined and something physically experienced. If you close your eyes and imagine tasting a lemon, your mouth will salivate. If you picture yourself standing at the ocean, you can almost hear the waves and feel the breeze. That same principle applies to your dreams. Feel them now, and your body, your energy, your entire vibration will begin to align with them. Visualization also rewires your subconscious mind. Your subconscious is the soil in which your thoughts grow. It doesn't argue or question, it simply accepts what it is repeatedly shown. When you visualize your desired reality with consistency and emotion, you are planting seeds in that soil. Over time, those seeds grow into habits, beliefs, and circumstances that mirror your vision. Try making visualization a ritual. In the morning before the world demands your attention, close your eyes and see your day unfolding with ease. See yourself calm, centered, and successful. Feel yourself guided and supported by something greater. At night, before you fall asleep, visualize the life you're creating, the health, the relationships, the abundance, the peace. Let those images be the last thing your mind absorbs before entering sleep, because your subconscious continues to work on them throughout the night. Dr. Dyer often said that imagination is more important than knowledge, because knowledge is about what already is, while imagination is about what can be. It is the preview of life's coming attractions. When you dare to imagine freely, you are giving the universe permission to surprise you with beauty far beyond your current reality. Visualization also requires alignment between your vision and your sense of worthiness. You cannot attract into your life anything you do not feel worthy of receiving. If you visualize abundance but secretly believe you don't deserve it, your energy will cancel out the vision. That's why love for yourself and for life is essential. When you love yourself, you naturally open to receive, you stop arguing for your limitations, and begin affirming your divine right to joy, peace, and prosperity. It's important, too, to release attachment to the outcome. Visualize your desires not because you're desperate for them to happen, but because it feels good to dwell in that energy. The feeling itself is the point. The joy of the vision is the manifestation in its early form. When you can feel fulfilled before it arrives, you send out the signal that you already have it, and that's when it arrives. Think of this like tuning into a radio station. You don't demand that the music come to you. You simply adjust your frequency until you hear it clearly. Visualization is the same. The music of your desires is already playing. You just have to tune your thoughts and emotions to match the signal. Over time, you'll begin to notice signs, synchronicities, intuitive nudges, coincidences that are not coincidences at all. These are confirmations that your inner vision is taking form. Don't dismiss them. A phone call, a sudden idea, a new opportunity, these are all ways the universe speaks to you. Stay open, stay trusting, and act when you feel guided. Remember, this is not magic, it's alignment. You are a co-creator with the infinite. Your thoughts are the brush, your emotions are the color, and your life is the canvas. When you visualize consciously, you are painting with divine light. There will be times when doubt creeps in, when you look around and say, nothing's changing. In those moments, return to your inner world, close your eyes, and feel again the truth of your vision. The outer world always lags behind the inner. Be patient and know that everything is unfolding in divine timing. Dr. Dyer would often remind his audience that manifestation is not about chasing, it's about becoming. You become the frequency of what you desire, and then it must appear. You don't go out and find your dreams find you because you are vibrating on their wavelength. So let your imagination be sacred. Don't use it to replay fears or regrets. Use it to create the beautiful life that is waiting for you. See it, feel it, believe it, and then release it to the universe with gratitude. Because when your inner world is filled with clear vision, joyful emotion, and unwavering faith, the outer world has no choice but to reflect it. That's how transformation happens, not by force, but by alignment. You are not here to wish for a better life. You are here to envision it, to feel it, to live it into being, and as you do, you'll come to see that there was never any separation between your thoughts and your reality. They were always one and the same. That is the divine power within you. That is creation in motion, and that is how you transform your life, by changing your thoughts and feeling with absolute certainty the reality you wish to experience.